time part 3 where I was suddenly interrupted at 7 minutes in the last one. I was talking about solar systems, so it's a good place to start another video. Self-standing video, by the way, folks. If you just watch this one, totally cool. Why is the sun burning? What causes it to do that? Is it just like this thing that's sitting there and it's just internally burning upon itself? Is that possible? It's just a fire that somebody put there, just like this nuclear reaction, this just inferno that just sits there. Or, let me ask you, is this part of the reality of it? Look at the analogy. You know, like a match head? Look at the match head. Just hold it there, and there it is. It's not on fire. But when you strike it against something, you create that friction, all of a sudden the match head turns into that little flame. That's the spark that you're going to need, right? Now, what caused that to ignite? It's movement. We're back to the idea of motion. Motion creates friction. Space is not a vacuum. There are things there. And the faster you move and the farther you move, you are striking against friction. That's the analogy. So I ask you, how are these suns, if they're all stars out there, other solar systems, how have they ignited? Are they all like moving, like they say, like some big bang? Or is it just like motion because of time, and they just ignite, and they're going to keep lit like that because they just keep moving and it just keeps igniting it and igniting it? Some people have said, and not all astronomy is focused on this aspect, but which way is the sun moving? They say it has a motion either around another star, that we're a binary system, or no, we are just suns revolving around other suns. Supposedly the one that's our center sun is Sirius. How did they figure that out? I'm not sure. They also have mythological evidence from artifacts, and they interpret it. But another statement, which is the same or can be taken separately, is that our sun is moving somehow within the galaxy, and it has to be in a spiral arm, and it's going around the center, and there's probably some huge black hole in that place, so that everything's circulating around this in a whirlpool type of motion. So these things are igniting because they're moving so quickly. I have to ask. I need the data, because without the data, the information, then I can't calculate something that will counteract it. How fast are we moving? How much distance are we covering? And which direction is everything going? We know that the Earth goes like this, so that on the surface, depending on your latitude and your longitude, your direction is a certain way within that localized space, that center. But then take another center of, there's the moon to factor in, there's other planets, and there's the sun. Look at that motion. And we're going through this, and on this plane, that's like another latitude, that's equatorial or the elliptical shaped orbits. Then factor in comets and how they might offset the motions just by a fraction, but it all counts toward the bigger picture. And then look at that thing within the local cluster or local group of suns. And like I said, there was all that motion. Don't get dizzy yet on me. It's hard to visualize this. But what if we could create computer models that would show you that, and suddenly you know which direction we're going and at what speed, calculate it to bigger and bigger scales, to the galactic scale, and then say, okay, everything's going at this speed, in this direction, and covering this much distance, then we're getting started. Now, I've heard a lot of figures. I'm not going to throw out any specifics right here, but they claim to know. There are some people working on it. Then you've got to go beyond the galactic, because where is the galaxy itself moving? I have to go now. That's the end of this one. I've said enough. It's totally a mystery. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Can you imagine what I have to go through? If you're a parent, then put in a prayer for me.